a little hot, but humid. And since I have been in Punjab last week, so I know that Karachi's weather, hot weather is not as bad in the evenings as in other areas. You don't find any breeze out there. So let's welcome each of us. What I would do that I would really would like to invite anyone of you that to repeat the rules that we follow before we start the meeting officially. Anyone would help me? What is the rule? Any one of the rules? We don't talk about. Okay, so someone from
Rules?
online speaking. Is it there?
Are we talking about rules?
Oh. Yes. So Toastmaster Tehseen was saying something. Yes, Tehseen.
We're not allowed to talk about politics and political topics.
Yeah. And as DTM Tala explains it, that it's something that is that could cause some kind of conflict. This is not allowed, and we should avoid them, so that we have some smooth conversations around. And we also have our mobile phones either off or silent or in our pockets, so that the speakers are not disturbed. And with that, I would like two of you to give 2 words for our club president. Think of our president.
He knows.
He knows.
He knows.
He doesn't. He doesn't sleep.
He doesn't.
It feels to me. Yes. Anyone from
Color president. About color
He
president.
can reply you even if you write.
Pardon? President? Sorry. Okay. Okay. Meanwhile, I can take words from other people. Anyone? Yes, Toastmaster. Okay, great. So you're listening to him, Talal. People are speaking about you.
Yeah, I can kind of see why that particular word was invoked
Okay.
today of all days.
One more person, if anyone wants to, I would say one word that I've been.
I think.
It's very
Can I
much
say
professional.
something?
Very much professional, and you learn
Yes,
these
sir.
things from. Yeah. Yes. Toastmaster Shazet, please.
Yes, I think DTM Talha is the kind of a person who did not like appreciation, especially when he did something better. And if you say him that congratulations, you did a great job, but he don't like those things. I think he's a very kind and humble person.
These comments.
He is a DTM for 5 times, but he always tells everyone that he has done it in 6 times, perhaps.
So this is the pattern in our meetings that Toastmasters has to say. So with this, I would like to hand over the charge to our president, Mr. Aditya.
Thank you so much. Welcome back, Sergeant at Arms, and your commitment is admirable despite having a major injury and not being able to leave your bed. You hardly missed any meeting. Even though we know how much you love in-person meetings versus online, but it's a living embodiment of 11 a.m. at night with you then. So thank you so much. Today is everything.
Okay.
The first reason is that we have for us with us. We will also have in person with us DTM who is a great contributor to our club personally. We are celebrating the club's achievements, which have been numerous throughout the years. First of all, your commitment, your loyalty. The second one is weathering the ups and downs, the change in venue, and that includes the difficulties in audio and videos. Completing your educational goals, we'll be celebrating that. And also, we will be appreciating the club's performance, which achieved distinguish. I think it was the fastest time in history that ABC achieved distinguish. Why? Because, yes. And of course, full credit to Toastmasters Chandra Iqbal, as the quickest this year, because all of you renewed, most of you, 20 of you number differently, because we used to be very relaxed. April के end तक ले लेंगे. So usually we used to complete our complete roster by end of April. The roster is 20 members that's required. Since we have, Assalamu alaikum. Since we have make of that what you prefer. So, that one piece of business. The second piece of business is that on 21st we'll have our evaluation contest. All members are eligible for and the guidance will be given. The good news about evaluations is that you don't need to really prepare a great deal. Yes, you need to, but you don't need to prepare a great deal. Why? Because and so most nine, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and yes, we have a majority of members. So, it is my interest to declare my unwavering and unconditional for Toastmaster Imran Rana as the incoming club nomination committee chair. For 25-26, that means the term will start on July 1st. Unfortunately, one position is not open at all. It has already been filled in a stunning exhibition of favoritism
and nepotism, and that is immediate past present. You can't run for that position. I have already occupied that position. And even if I pass away, I'll still be immediate past president. So other than those positions, other than that positions, all positions are open. Toastmaster Imran Rana will be canvassing for the applicants. He may contact potential candidates himself, or you're free to send your applications. A brief explainer of all the positions and roles will be shared on the group, and he will be collecting the applications for 1 week. And that means that we may have our election meeting next week. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back, Mr. Table Topics Champion. So I think then we can have the election meeting next week, or maybe on the 28th. Depending,
Make it
yeah.
28.
Okay, so we plan to have the election meeting on 28th. That is because in the intervening time, we'll have a contest, we'll have routine meetings, we also add Park Tag, but we no longer have Park Tag now. This Saturday, it has been deferred to another date. And hopefully, I'm hoping and praying. That's my personal prayer, and also hopefully our collective prayer, that things get back to normal as soon as possible, so that all these activities are resumed. Because reading all these messages about cancellation of events, deferment of events due to circumstances, it's even scarier than the actual events that are going on. So in that very spirit, we will continue with our meeting today, because living well is the best revenge. And we are not supposed to go silently into the night. We are supposed to rage against the passing of the light. Carrying on, the British are famous for saying that keep calm and carry on. And that's basically short of, again, that everyone will have different concepts, but short of contributing in some military manner to the war itself, which is not exactly a war, it's hyped into a war by the media. It's a series of skirmishes, and hopefully it ceases soon for the sake of the world, for the sake of all of us. But short of that, carrying on our duties with utmost integrity and positivity is the best way we can counter the situation. So now, without further ado, after plenty of ado, of course, it is my honor and privilege to introduce our Toastmaster of the day. And our Toastmaster of the day is Toastmaster Umair. So Toastmaster Umair, I would ask you to briefly also introduce yourself, because you're returning after a bit to the club and many members may not know you. And after that, you can start your role as Toastmaster of the day. But before that, sorry, I need to invite a guest. Would you like to come on the stage and introduce yourself briefly?
Now, I am Shakir Mengrani, with the reference of Hamish Mengrani, and our team is a middleman with my uncle and me. So I invited here. Actually, I am a software engineer from past 13 years. I have experience in this field. Right now, I am working on GSK Pakistan, as a senior software engineer. And I was create a lot of things for them. And right now I'm working on AI for innovating the GSK Pakistan. Right now I have on my some sort of small business for e-commerce. So I have some platforms where I create websites and create a web application to fulfill their requirements and educate them how do we work on it and how do we innovate in a AI system or so on. So that is my introduction.
And I am not introducing the Lodi brothers, because I am impelling both of you to take up membership as soon as possible. Otherwise, I'll complain to your father. So now over to you, Toastmaster Mayor.
Unmute yourself. Or. You're not audible, you need to unmute yourself. Omer, unmute yourself.
Yeah, chat में लिख दो.
Apologies, I was muted. So again, I'm Omer Ahmed, Toastmaster of the day, and I'm here as your host, and also I'm a Toastmaster, a member of the Karachi Toastmaster Club since 2022, and I've just rejoined now. Today, let's talk about hot and humid. Am I audible clearly?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, just give us a moment. Let's try to swap the connection.
भाई तो यार ये कैमरा निकाल दिया आपने. Don't be so excited. सारे लेंगे, ठीक है.
The live streaming is on. Again, Sir Talha.
Yeah. Now can you just a second? I have swapped the audio connection and yeah, can you say something? Toastmaster Mayor?
Audible?
Okay, just yeah, now can you repeat?
Audible?
Wait, why is it not? Yeah.
Ask.
Okay. Now repeat. Now it should work.
Let me on just a second.
Yeah, repeat now.
Am I audible now?
Yes, much better. Much better. Yeah. Please continue.
Thank you. So let me start. Yes, let me start. I am the member of the club since 2022, and I rejoined recently. Today, let's say, today was very hot and obviously very humid also, and it is getting more and more humid. One thing I want to share that our city is very futuristic city, and it is very much technologically advanced city. You know that because every year we teleport ourselves to the Mercury, and we enjoy our summer on Mercury, and we come back our summer there. So it's very warm and it's all humid all the day. So the outside.
Okay. He's back.
I'm sorry, everything is going very southways.
Yeah, but
so
now
let's enjoy ourselves on the today in this hot and humid weather. You can think of this Toastmasters Club as the of the desert, and also you will be served with some great table topic speeches. So let's start today's meeting. and also we will have some unsung heroes today. And those unsung heroes are someone without which we cannot have a very good meeting. And those unsung heroes are, number one, the timer. And our timer is, who is timer? Can anyone tell me? Because there is a to be decided.
Yeah, so for the online audience, for online things, I will do the timing. And for in-person, I may ask any of you to, contribute. As timer, my role will be to display the timing lights. The timing lights are green for minimum time, yellow for intermediate time, and red for maximum time. So for speeches, if a speech is 5 to 7 minutes, it's 5, green, 6, yellow, and red 7. For table topics, it's 1, 1.5, and 2. And for evaluations, it's 2, 2.5, and 3. Every time you see the red color, that means you have 31 seconds to wind up your presentation. Otherwise, you will be disqualified from voting. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, TM. Thank you so much. Our second unsung hero is someone who will remind you of your 10th grade English teacher. That's grammarian. And our today's grammarian is Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Today I'll be your grammarian, and I also having the word of the day. But as a grammarian, I will try to find out good usage of the language and not so good if I'll be able to find something which is not grammatically correct. I will try to repeat it and try to correct it, then ask you for double check whether I'm correct or not. The only unfortunate thing is there will be no one to check my grammar, and it will be a good way. And Toastmaster Omar, I also have a second role, having the word of the day. Today's the word of the day is foray, F-O-R-A-Y. I already shared it in our WhatsApp group. I cannot share it over here on my this chat box because for a very simple reason, I don't know how to share it, but I will try to read it over here. We have three meaning for forays. Number one, an attempt to become involved in a different activity or a professional. For example, the company's first foray into this computer market. The meaning of second foray is a short, sudden attack made by a group of soldiers, perhaps. For example, those on the front line make regular forays into occupied territory. The third meaning of foray, a short journey to find a particular thing or to visit a new place. Example, weekend shopping forays to France, or weekend shopping forays to our nearest market. You can use, anyone can use these words in any of the following meaning, any of the meaning that I've just mentioned. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mohammad Azhar. Our third unsung hero is someone who just listens to few things. And those are our ums and all these. And that is the R counter. And our R counter for today is Toastmaster Hibarais. Hibarais, please describe your role.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, at the R counter, I will be making note of all the filler words spoken by the speaker during, such as and so, spoken by the speaker in the prepared speech session and in the table topic session. And at the end of the session, I'll be highlighting who spoke how many filler words. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hiba. Our fourth unsung hero is someone who has a superpower. And that superpower is super listening. And our super listener is Toastmaster Arfa Tabassum. Toastmaster Arfa Tabassum, please describe your role.
She has not joined yet, Toastmaster Mayor, so when she'll join, she'll start the room, okay?
Okay, thank you so much. And our today's vote counter is Toastmaster Imran Rana.
Thank you so much. I'm sure I'm audible and visible. As a vote counter, my role is to float the poll on 4 occasions. That is for best prepared speaker, best speech evaluator, best table topic speaker, and best big four. You will be requested to cast your vote through Google form. And if there is a tie, I'll break the tie and make the announcement of the winners. Over to you at the end of the meeting.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Imran Rana. So it's time for speeches. This is the pleasant breezes in the oasis, as I was talking about. In the prepared speeches, our speakers prepare the speeches according to their level on which they are on the Toastmasters journey, and they will be evaluated by their respective evaluators. I will be calling their evaluators to introduce the speakers. So, our first speaker is Toastmaster Shazib Iqbal, and his evaluator is Distinguished Toastmaster Talabin Hamid. I'd request Distinguished Toastmaster Talabin Hamid to describe the project of Toastmaster Shazib Iqbal.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. Today, Toastmaster Shazib Iqbal will be delivering the project Lead in Any Situation. The purpose of this project is for the member to apply the skills needed to successfully lead in a volunteer or other organization. The purpose of the speech is for the member to share some aspect of his or her experience as a leader and or the impact of the 360 degrees evaluation. During the completion of the project, the members spent a significant amount of time, minimum of 6 months, in a leadership role in an organization. Received feedback from peers in the form of a 360-degree evaluation. The member will deliver a speech to reflect on his or her experience as a leader and or the impact of the 360-degree evaluation. The speech you're evaluating may be humorous, informational, or any style the member chooses, but it must be appropriate for the content. So everyone, please put your hands together for Toastmaster Shazib Iqbal, Leading with Screaming. Leading with Screaming, Toastmaster Shazib Iqbal.
I hope I am audible to everyone.
Yes, you are.
So raise your hand if you are wearing a watch. Thank you. Some of us are still racing against time, even though we all know time always wins. Do you know that there are more than 3,000 watch brands in this world? Well, this watch is one of those brands. After a few months of saving, I finally spent 20,000 rupees to buy this watch. But have you ever looked closely to the watch? It does not just have one way of moving. It has the big hand for the minutes, the small hand for the hours, and the fast moving one for the seconds. And all of them moving at their own pace, serving their own purposes. And if they all tried to move together, the time will completely wrong. Leadership works the same way. Sometimes you need to move slow with patience. Sometimes you need to act in urgency. Sometimes you need to create a balance in between. And that is what called situational leadership. To know when to speed up, when to slow down, and when to create the balance. And just like these hands of a watch, leadership does not just apply in offices or in business meetings. Sometimes it shows up in the most unexpected places, like your own living room. And that's where my leadership test began with my 1-year-old son, Shahir. Now, to be honest, when Shahir was born, we didn't find him very cute. He looked a lot like the Mr. Bean version. And my wife always used to say that he just looked like you. And I would argue, no, he just looked exactly like you. But after 6 months, something magically happened. And Shahir became the most beautiful and charismatic boy in our family. This is the boy. Okay, now he is just 1 year old. He can't speak yet, but trust me, he has mastered the art of communication through science. He knows everything he wants. And if you dare to ignore him, get ready for the non-stop screaming. Every evening, when I returned home, he would rush to hug me, kiss my cheeks, and demands my full attention. At that time, you cannot do anything. If I start watching the TV, he would grab the remote and start pressing the buttons. If I am talking on the phone, he will snatch my phone and start talking in his own style. Hello? And if I want to go to the washroom, he will insist following me there too. One day, I tried to explain with all the seriousness of this word that, son, this is not a game. This is not a meeting. This is a nature's final war. But despite my pleading, Shahir managed to break it. In just 2 seconds, my dreams, my savings, and my sanity all shattered by two little chubby hands. My speech timing is 8 to 10 minutes, please. So after a few weeks, I got repaired my watch. And I went back to and when I went back to home, the moment Shahi spotted on the watch, history repeated itself. Screaming started again. But this time, instead of fighting it, I peacefully handed it over to him. He wore it in his little tiny hands and started playing with it. And after a while, when I was busy in my phone, at that time, Shahir grew bored and threw the watch across the room. The watch broken again. Another visit to the watchmaker, another repair. But now I had learned something important. That if I wanted to survive Shahir's welcome parties, I need a new strategy. So I adopted. Instead of hiding the watch every evening, I decided to come home with a secret weapon in my pocket, a chocolate. So when Shahir eyes lit up the side of my watch and his little fists preparing for the fight, I would pull out a chocolate and said, "Look what I have." And just like that, the crisis averted. And that's when I discovered the ultimate leadership hack. When reason fails, bribe with a chocolate. So what I have experienced, what my son taught me, became the very skills that help me at my work. There was a situation in my office when a project was falling apart. At that time, I stopped pushing solutions and adopted to what time needed. I started offering what the team truly needed: support, clarity, and just a little sweetness. And after that, the resistance faded and progress returned. I realized that leadership is not about control, it's about understanding. There is no single way to lead. Some days you have to support, some days you have to direct, some days you have to be a coach for the team, and some days you have to simply adopt. Some moments call for action, some moments call for direction, and some moments simply call for leading against screaming. Leading in any situations means flexible, not just with your actions, but with your heart. And just like these hands of a watch moving at their own pace, real leadership is about understanding the rhythm of those who we lead and adjusting ourselves accordingly with presence, patience, and sometimes with a chocolate. Because at the end, leadership is not about holding the power, it's about holding the people. Thank you so much.
That's great. Amazing. Amazing, Shalva. Uh, describing this leadership and all through your personal experience. This was very great, very amazing. So let's move on. Let's go to our second spell of pleasant breeze of in the hot summer. And that is the second speaker is Toastmaster Tehseen Fatima, and her evaluator is Toastmaster Sila Hamid. I would like Toastmaster Sila Hamid to introduce Toastmaster Tehseen Fatima and her topic.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. Good evening, my dear Toastmasters, distinguished Toastmasters, and the guests. Today, our very lively Toastmaster, Tehseen Fatma, is going to deliver her speech from the project, the Presentation Mastery, Level 2, Project 3, and her details of the project and the purpose of the project is for the member to clearly define how Toastmaster envision mentoring, and he has to share some aspects of a previous experience as a protege. Okay, over to you, Toastmaster Tehseen.
Hello, am I audible or visible to everyone? Visible, yes. Audible, yes, right? Okay, so as we have a lot of millennials in this room and senior millennials as well. So do you recall a childhood movie, Baby's Day Out? Yes. Okay, so actually they wanted to cast me for the hero figure, but I was very young. So, but actually in my real life, I am the problem child. And I have been a problematic child for my parents. And maybe that's the reason that I just have only one sibling. Maybe it's the reason that they thought, oh God. My mother used to say, I don't have 2 children, I have 20 children, and 19, she count me, and 1 my elder brother. So actually, I recall for the first time when we were on our family vacation, and mistakenly, we were actually flying, and mistakenly, my father pulled that air hostess help call. And I was like, what you did? What are you doing, Daddy? And then he just explained that I need something, so I called air hostess. And since that, throughout our 2 hours flight, every second minute, I was doing this, and every second minute, someone from the service team was coming in. Do you need anything? No. So I was actually the problem child. Throughout my life, I remember, and we all must recall and relate it, that our grandparents are actually our first mentor. They teach us to be disciplined. They teach us how to talk. They teach us how to eat, how to sit, and they mentor us with a lot of things which actually instilled in our brought up. And we don't even know that actually they are doing this mentoring. Then our parents took this charge. Then our teachers take this charge. Then our colleagues, bosses, and then as we grew up, we find a lot of figures which actually take this charge. I remember Ashfaq Ahmed. I remember Bano Kutsia. I remember Steve Harvey. I remember Steve Jobs. By the way, do we have iPhone lovers in the room? Do we have? 1, any other? 2? Anyone from the online forum? No, TMS girl hates iPhone. Okay, great. Actually, TMS, I'm asking about iPhone, not your mother-in-law. I repeat for your question. Okay, so we have 2 iPhone lovers. Steve Jobs was one of the refined and the most famous mentor of the world. To be in his speeches or in his mentoring sessions, people used to book tickets and air prayer. Mr. DTM Sarfaraz could testify it. So, do you know that who was the mentor of Steve Jobs? I give a clue. In our childhood, there was a video game, Atari, the first console. Yeah. And the first game we all have played as an electronic video game, Pong. DTM, I'm sure you won't recall. You were so young that time. You won't recall that. So actually, Nelson Bushell, he's called the father of electronic video games. And he was the mentor of Steve Jobs. So what I'm trying to say is that at different levels of life, we all met different people who intentionally or unintentionally leave a great impact on our lives. At times, the impact is highly positive, and at times, the impact is somehow negative. Even if the impact is negative and we are uncomfortable with some of their words, some of their actions, even then, they mentor us indirectly by teaching us what not to do and how not to become, what not to become. When I joined Toastmaster, actually, I never heard about Toastmasters. So my ex-boss, Atia Zeri, she actually referred me here. And she was the foray who actually gave me this strategical thinking pattern. When I came here, I was appointed, I was given an official mentor who is DM Vase and soon to be DTM Vase. Then when I actually started coming to the meetings and attending them online, I also attended a lots of meetings of the other clubs. I learned a lot. If I take a few names, starting from DTM Talha, then of course my mentor, soon DTM Basit, DTM Irfan Sahab, DTM Sarfaraz Sahab, DPE Shahzad. Then since our two past sessions, DTM Asher, our suite, TM Sila, Samir sir, who was here for the in the last meeting, and I thought. So actually, I learned this thing, that how professionals grow. And even if they are doing nothing, even if they are sitting, standing, and telling us a simple thing, or telling anything about their life, or telling anything about their amazing experience, or discussing anything about their mother-in-law, or anything else, or how they can be the DTM, or how they haven't been DTM yet, or TM or DTM Sarfaraz, who always been guiding a lot in our groups, we actually get mentored a lot. So, my dear fellows, mentorship is a process which directly or indirectly actually groom us in all the ways. Keep rocking, keep grooming.
Wow, that was amazing, Toastmaster Tehseen Fatima. Yes, indeed, mentoring is one of the most important part for our growth. Most of the time, we are stuck, and to get unstuck, we need mentors. And to have a great mentor is something which is a blessing. Now, coming to the next pleasure breeze during this hot summer is a distinguished Toastmaster Irfan Farooqi. His evaluator is a Toastmaster Hiba Rais Khan. I want to ask Toastmaster Hiba Rais Khan to introduce distinguished Toastmaster Irfan Farooqi and his topic.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, GTM Irfan Farooqi is doing he's doing pathway team collaboration level 3 project elective 1 interview lead as visionary CEO, and the duration of the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. And the objectives of the speech are, there's only one. That is, the purpose of this project is for the member to practice the skills needed to present him or herself well in an interview.
Can someone time this, please? 5 to 7 minutes. Ali, if you can, Ali, actually, we won't be able to see you. That's the thing. So,
okay.
otherwise, they're more than welcome to. But
Ali Asher can do that.
Ali Asher can do that, and perhaps we need to pull up a chair, or yeah. Thank you, Ali. So, once the timer is set, you start the timings. Sorry. Okay. We are. Sir, better so we can determine. I think we should be visible. Yeah.
Yes, both are fine. Yes, both are visible.
I don't recall asking you to sit. Thank you, sir. You said good observation. I was testing you.
I was standing there because I thought I should not come like that. I will not come with that.
Okay, no, yes. Okay. Shall we begin?
Yes. Please have a seat.
Thank you very much.
So, Mr. Irfan,
How are you, sir?
I'm fine. What about you? Was there any trouble on the way?
A few problems on the road because I don't know what's the problem, because probably in this other area, there's a big traffic jam.
Right, right. So first of all, thank you for your interest in this position. You do realize that this position will have no shortage of applicants. So, of course, we need to carefully consider each candidate. So I've noticed that you haven't been in a CEO position before.
Yes, I have not worked as a CEO position,
Yeah.
but there's always first time in your life.
Mhm.
Does that mean that I don't qualify for that position? Because I have not served at that position, but I assure you that I will be the most suitable person for this position.
So what would you do differently? You must have studied our organization. You have seen its history over the years. If we do select you, what would you do differently?
I assume that the organization has been working in a stagnant way for last few years. And the best thing that organization right now needs is a change. You want someone from outside that has a different perspective. Why I think I can be a good asset for the organization is because I have two different sides of exposure. Rather, I would say another side would be added. Two sides means that I have worked with international organizations like ASQ, like Association of Supply Chain Management, and like Toastmasters. On the other hand, I have been working in the local organization. So I have a blend of the two sides, how the international organizations are working and how it should be adjusted according to the Pakistan scenario. Added to it is that I have been teaching in various universities as an adjunct faculty member for the last 20 years. So it's giving me an exposure of multiple Pakistani organizations where professionals come and I deliver my training. So I believe the thing that I can do differently is that bring in the international standards and align it with the local ones.
So, following on from your answer, bringing in international standards, where do you think we lack, and what would be the first maybe 2 or 3 things that you would introduce?
First of all, I would say that in our Pakistani culture, we are stuck up between two extremes. On one hand, we look at the Western world for professionalism, for their commitment. And on the other hand, when we look at Pakistani structures, we want to go for Desi style of management, personal affiliations, and we are stuck up where to go. The reality is that we need to focus on a combination of the two extremes. In our culture, pure professionalism will not work for most of the people. And Desi style of management will not take us to any place. What we want to do is that we should follow the international standards. Try to incorporate those values into our people. But we should also be people-focused person. We should look at the people because they are humans, they are not robots. What I believe is the keys of successful Pakistani organization would be that we follow the international standards, but try to implement through the people, not through the processes.
All right. Perhaps, I don't know if you know it or not, if you look at our last annual report and the disclosures that were filed with the SCCP, we do plan to replace most of our workforce with robots. So how do your approach and emphasis on people and people management and considering them as humans come into play in all of this?
It is not important that bringing robots would replace the people. Robots will be operating on the machines. And if they are operating onto the machines, the output of the machines would definitely far better than what is today. That doesn't mean that we should replace the human with every place replace the human with robot. We cannot do it. The people who are real assets, for instance, on the production side, who will plan, who will persuade, Boards can't do that. They can perform the work. But who would be doing the planning of the activities? So human brain is good for planning, setting up targets, achieving values. We should keep the people over there. Lot of people in production would be spared doing physical work. We can assign them at any other job. But people with intellect, we need to retain them. You say, it is a saying that when an old man walks out of the organization, a library walks out of the organization. So we need to retain those intellectual, experienced people so that they can contribute to the success of our organization.
Library contains mostly of old and outdated books from university. So if you were faced in a situation where you had to choose between efficiency and your human sympathy, how would you go about that choice?
It's a difficult choice, but based upon my personal experience, my choice is people. I'm very much focused towards people management side rather than task management side on the managerial way. I'm more focused towards people side because I have experienced it. Somebody was ill and that ill person had to deliver something by the evening, but he was not well. Because of the people relationship, someone else took that responsibility, performed the task, and we were ready with the data that we required. When you are people focused, everyone helps the other person. When you are task focused, people would say, none of my business, please do it yourself.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. I have been a robot all along. See you soon. Bye.
See, when I am in the organization, I hope to see you.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Irfan Farooqi. That was amazing insight also. Our next breeze of a speech is by Toastmaster Wase Ahmed. And his evaluator is a distinguished Toastmaster Sarfaraz Akbar Nazir. I would like to ask DTM Sarfaraz Akbar Nazir to introduce TM Wase Ahmed and his project.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. I did not realize that if I attended today's meeting, that I will foray into the evaluator's role. It is my honor to introduce to you our next speaker, Toastmaster Wase Ahmed. He's working on his DTM project, which is one of the requirements to receive the Distinguished Toastmaster Award. The purpose of this project is for him to demonstrate his leadership skills as a leader and as a public speaker. This is his second speech for the DTM project, and the second speech is going to share some aspect of his experience completing the project. The time is 8 to 10 minutes. Toastmaster Wase Ahmed, poetic conclusion, Toastmaster Wase Ahmed.
The people online. Can we get thumbs up?
Yeah.
Yes, your voice is a little slow.
Okay. Now speak again and try to inch a little closer.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. With just 12 hours remaining in the event, I returned back to my home with a heavy heart. I had lots of thoughts in my mind. Was it worth it to get into the mess that I am in right now? Backbone of this Scrabble division, Dylan Fernandez, was burning in fever. But who could replace him? I pondered over it and I got an answer. But will that work after so many years? That night, I hardly slept. I woke up, I dressed, and I left. At 7:30 a.m. in the morning, I reached the school. I entered that gigantic auditorium, which could host over 1,000 participants at once. Its walls were whitewashed. Half of them were covered with wood panels. On both sides of aisles, there were tables covered with white mantles. On left, there were Scrabble boards and tiles, and on right, there were chess boards and chess pieces, ready to wage the war. In front of me was the stage, and on that stage was the reason why I was there after 6 years. The podium. I could sense the nervousness and the excitement in the camp. And in order to harness those energy, I had a small motivating session. Yes. And trust me, I needed this more than these kids. At 9, we kicked off. We had to cater over 100 participants. The structure was simple: 2 games, chess and Scrabble. In chess, we had 3 categories. In Scrabble, we had 2 categories. I was coordinating the event. I was leading the chess division with the help of another person. And in Scrabble, the person who had to lead that division was not there. So we took the God's name and we started. The first game of Scrabble went smoothly. And before the next game, when we had to make the draws, the planned break of 20 minutes stretched to an unplanned break of 80 minutes. During those 60 minutes, my heart was on roller coaster. But out of the mist, just like a hero, appeared Dylan Fernandez. A hero that couldn't walk much or talk much. He just took his antibiotics and came. And after him came my trump card, Hassan, who was my batchmate from 2019. He thankfully, I would say, appreciate the friendship I had with him and showed up. But now we were left with 4 hours and 4 games, which meant 50 minutes for Scrabble and 10 minutes to collect the results, to make the draws, and to get all the players back to their seats. As they say, desperate time needs desperate measures. So what did I do? I had no break for anybody. Although I did make up for the volunteers after that. And I apologized to them also later. But thankfully, to all the team that I had, they understood it. And they made sure that when the dust settled down, we were on time. In contrast, the chess went quite smoothly. We had 6 games, we had an hour break, we even had tiebreakers for the final places. Ladies and gentlemen, now it was time for the main event of the evening, the closing ceremony. And Again, this time I had not prepared my speech. So when other people were speaking on that podium, I was making notes. My name was called out. And I walked onto that podium. I took my place and I gave a big smile to the audience. And I began. Fellow Toastmasters and guests. No, I didn't say that. Fellow Toastmasters and guests. Our life is a story. Often in our life, we make effort, but eventually we might not get the result what we want. But sometimes a shortcoming, what we had back in that time, might become a seed that if we work upon it, might grow into a fruitful tree. End of certain chapters are delayed because the writer might have written a poetic conclusion for you. On that day, 6 years ago, that boy walked off that stage embarrassed. And he again stood at that podium, and when he stood there, he owned it. He could see people's emotions synchronizing with his emotions. He could listen people laughing with him, not at him. He could sense the attention of each and every individual out there. And all of this reinforced just one thing. What the greatest writer said in his book, Wallahu khairul makirin. Indeed, he is the best planner. Thank you.
Thank you to Toastmaster Wasi Ahmed. That was a very good speech, and I love that. The main part is when I was member last time, you were new, and now you are getting TTM while I am just still very far behind. So that's great. So this concludes our today's prepared speeches, and I would like all to vote for the best speaker, and the voting was shared by TM Imran Rana on WhatsApp, and I think for online group for the present group that is attending live also. Now, let's foray into the uncharted territory of impromptu speeches, that is table topics. And for that, I would like to call the table topic master, Toastmaster Salah Hamid.
Good evening, my dear Toastmasters. Hot weather can be hard to handle, isn't it? Just like the heated argument or the strong speeches. So at Toastmasters, we learn to embrace the discomfort by delivering the toughest speeches, just like the handling the hot weather in the summer. So let's welcome the heat and start our most engaging and the most surprising table topic session of the meeting. And in this table topic sessions, the speaker will be allowed to speak for 2 minutes, and
here we start the session. So our first table topic speaker, I would like to call Toastmaster Imran Rana. So Toastmaster Imran Rana, your topic is, would you rather survive a heat wave in the desert? Would you rather survive a heat wave in the desert or a heated argument with your wife?
Okay, what was the word of the day?
Foray.
Foray. And the meaning of the word?
Into something.
Attempt to solve, like you attempt exams.
Okay, thank you so much, table topic master, fellow Toastmasters and guest. So I am put in a situation. Fellow Toastmasters and guest, many years back, we survived from heat waves. And how did we do that? Although I was not living in hot desert, I was living in Karachi, but it was more like a hot desert to me. So I would choose to survive heat waves in a desert area because I'm constantly having heated arguments every day with my wife about Toastmasters. When are you going to leave the Toastmasters? So I told her that it is not possible. So I better choose to survive heat waves in a desert, since I have an experience. As I mentioned that many years back we had a heat waves and we had so many casualty. But what was my tactics of surviving? Whenever I went to washroom, I put some water on myself and wore the clothes without ironing them or without wind. So that those clothes become wet, and those wet clothes protected me from the heat wave. So I had an experience. And about my wife, it's a constant battling. So better have to live in a heat wave in the desert, because it will soon pass. Just like that statement, it will end soon or something like that. It shall pass, something like that. So yeah, that too shall pass. So watching you, table topic master.
Husband usually pass before wife do. Don't count on.
You can take her to desert somehow. Yeah, it's too shall pass. And I always wonder why men are always scared from their wives. Exactly. Okay. So our next table topic speaker would be Toastmaster Ghulam Dastagir from Century Toastmasters. No. So
some case against me.
I was just about to ask you, Toastmaster Ghulam Dastagir, your topic is, you are melting in the sun, but the only shade is under your mother-in-law umbrella. What do you do?
Yes. Thank you, table topic master. Hello, Toastmaster. Very wonderful topic for me, and a lot of things can be said on this topic. First of all, I am basically born in a village, and I am a cultivator. Basically, we have a land in our Punjab region, and we were facing the difficult weather, whether it is a heat weather, it is a hot weather, or whether it is a cold weather. So there is no problem for me to save me from the heat wave or get the umbrella of my mother-in-law. There is no problem for me in both cases. And in the job, I am from Century Paper and Board Mills. And if you, Mr. Imran Rana has known the area, it is 200 acres area over there under me. And I am looking after all the warehouses. And my material is lying at over 200 acres of land. And the materials are wheat straw, coal, pulps, chemicals, and lot of indigenous biomass material. So during this season, this is the season for purchasing of wheat straw. And we are purchasing wheat straw in this season. And all the storage and handling work is being done in this hot weather. And we have, being the in charge of the area, being the head of the department of the area, I have to look into that. I frequently visited the area and facing no. When I came to Karachi, everyone was complaining there was too hot. There is nothing hot for me. It is a very pleasant environment for me. So there is no issue of the environment. And if I need to get the umbrella of mother-in-law, my mother-in-law always already expired. And there is no issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. But no thanks that your mother-in-law is not alive. Ask Toastmaster Azhar what are the coincidences he always faces. Okay, so let's welcome our next table topic speaker, guest Hamid Dodi. Yes, Hamid Dodi, your topic is tell us how you describe a time when someone was your shade during a difficult summer of your life. Describe a time when someone was your shade during a difficult summer of your life.
Shade like me.
Shade like me, a person who actually helped you out in your hard time. It is a metaphor.
Doing something. And so what's the word of it?
Foray.
And the meaning?
Making an attempt.
Would you like me to repeat them?
Yes, one more time, please.
Okay. Describe a time when someone was your shade during a difficult summer of your life.
All right.
Difficult time. As a metaphor.
My God. I'll start now. Hi, fellow Toastmasters. Good to see you. Awesome new business. Well, I can actually give a true story. Last summer, I was doing a summer course, and the course is FinTech, which I'm sure you guys already heard about, finance and technology, simple words. So during that time, I was having struggle because my teacher, let's say nice as well, he wasn't an easy guy to be around. He criticized everything you did. He insulted you for no reason, and he made fun of you anytime you got. And you always had to smile. But during the time, it is my worst time. Not even because of the teacher, because of course, because it's finance, and finance has never been my strongest. But technology has been, of course. So the issue was during that time, I was struggling, and my teacher wanted a new idea. I wanted to him, beta, kuch naya lao, Pakistan ki khushi ke liye. And I just thought, okay, another challenge. However, the issue was every idea I brought, he rejected. He said, "Nahin." And I was like, sir, what's the reason? Bas nahin. And I was like, okay. So during that time, I had a shade. I met this one guy named Simon, and a very nice guy. But I thought he didn't like me because we knew each other for 2 years. We never talked. We never had eye contact, from what I can recall. And I remember that during the time he could see me, I was like kind of getting upset one day. And he literally came up and said to me, Hamid. And I said, wow, you know my name? I said, Simon. Yeah. He said, what's the issue? I said, the issue is that this for me is a lawyer. Of course, I've never done in my life. I've never done this. And I'm struggling and I don't know what to do because of my last semester. He said, what's the issue? This is the problem. I said, okay, why don't you come to me next tomorrow? We'll sit together. You can join my group and I'll talk to sir. And he likes me because he's my favorite student. I said, perfect. So we bought a new app, an idea in which we can help employees specifically with their labors. Specifically, I mean the laws, because the laws were against some people, cheap labor. So we made an app that showed the benefit of that. And over time, surprisingly, our teacher liked it. And in the end, he just addressed. Hey, get out. So that's pretty much my story. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Now, I would like to call Toastmaster Altaf Hussain. Toastmaster Altaf Hussain, your topic is yes. Your topic is argue why flip-flops should be considered business casual during heat waves. Argue why flip-flops should be considered business casuals during heat waves. Slipper, easy slipper. Okay. Would you like to say that why flip-flops should be considered business casual during heat waves?
Okay. Thank you, Chair Toastmaster, and respected fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today's topic from the language thereof is wonderful. The importance of
Flip-flops.
Flip-flops.
And the casual slippers.
Yes. In hot season, can't be denied. That's important, yes, because that, no doubt, provides relief while you're passing your day or night, I mean, in the hot weather. In support thereof, I would say, refuse. I mean, maximum benefit of that should be taken for the purpose of attainment of our objective. And in that regard, I think there is no further need to explain it further. I hope you understand this well. With this, I would like to conclude my speech. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Master Altaf Hussain. Now, our next speaker is for the table topic speech, our guest. May I know your name, sir?
Shakir.
Okay, guest Shakir. Your topic is if summer heat were a person, what would you say to convince it to calm down? May I repeat it?
First part.
If summer heat were a person, okay, what would you say to convince it to calm down?
Calm down. So, situation is when the summer is summer heat, actually, and I need to calm down a person when he comes to the office or so on. So, firstly, I observe him, how he react or what he want to calm down or what his comfort zone actually. So first I observe it, and when I understand how do we comfort him, so I just ask him to comfort, and he can sit and rest, and he can do play. When he will calm down, then I will argue about him, how work situation, like he is coming late or he is not working, he is not productive. So I just argue after that rest time. And argument was very simple, why you don't or not So that time he will argue me in a polite way, not in a rush way or not in a that way. That is the way to calm down in that situation when person come to the heat wave or summer heat, or right now in the Karachi situation is very hot. So that's why we can rest them, then we argue them. Thank you.
Yes, now let's move on to the online members. May I see who's online?
Yeah, Toastmaster Rafat.
Okay, Toastmaster Rafat Mubin, are you there? Toastmaster Rafat, may I have your attention?
Toastmaster Rafat, are you there? Let's just wait, it takes a little bit of time to unmute us. Yeah.
Yes, madam, I am
Okay,
here.
Yes, hello, Toastmaster Rafat.
Fine.
I hope you're not having a hot day today. Okay, so your topic is, would you rather be a sun that shines? Would you rather be a sun that shines or tree that gives shades? May I repeat the topic?
Yes, yes.
Would you rather be a sun that shines or a tree that gives shades?
Please repeat the last.
Would you rather be a sun that shines or a tree that gives shades? A shelter.
Yeah, she got it.
Shades,
Yeah.
yes.
I like both of them because during hot weather, the calmness and the tree provide us shelter, which provide a soothing effect to all of us. Both of them are important and important in our life, because with sun we have mango, which because when we eat mango, we we uh, we think that we must tolerate the heat, because for mango, heat is very important. And when we get the shelter of a tree, we thankful to Almighty that He provides shelter from tree, which give a sense of soothness, plus shelter and protection in the hot weather. I experience this hot weather with my coat in courtrooms during summer, and I realized that the soothing effect of the trees provide us shelter in such a difficult situation, and I thankful to Almighty. Over to table topic master.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rifat Mubin. Dear Toastmasters, weathers, seasons, they all are the blessings. Ask the importance of these seasons to those countries, those people who are living where the sun do not arise. So feel blessed that we are living in such a country where all the seasons are there. We can feel the warmth of the sun and the blessings of the springs and the blossoms of the flowers in the springs. autumn and all these summer, winter, all these seasons we are blessed with. And remember, try to be the shade in the difficult times, in the hot times of others. Over to you, Toastmasters. Are all the speakers qualified?
Yes, all
Okay,
of them.
thank you so much.
Except for Gulab Nastagi.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sila Hamid. It was really fun act, and it was very good and refreshing. Toastmaster that table topics in such a hot, sunny day, and I would like to congratulate all the new Toastmasters, those who foray into this this Toastmaster event and speaking the impromptu speeches. And I tell you one thing, that this is the one of the greatest investment that you can do to yourself to make yourself a better person. Now let's move on to one of the most important parts of the whole meeting. And unless we don't know where we have made some bad thing, or maybe some kind of mistakes, if we don't know that, we cannot improve. And if we don't know where we excelled, we cannot capitalize on that. So the next segment is about journal evaluation, about the evaluation. And for that, I would like to call the general evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster, Talha bin Hamid.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day. So evaluation is the most important part of Toastmasters. It is the crux, and it is what sets Toastmasters apart from virtually every other communication / leadership / public speaking discipline. So first speaker today, first we will hear the evaluations of the speeches, prepared speeches. Then we have the table topics evaluation. After that, we'll have reports from the facilitators, including the grammarian, our counter, and finally, we'll have a little bit of a comment on the meeting itself by myself. So starting off the evaluation, and first evaluator is myself, and of course, the evaluator was, the speaker is Toastmaster Shahzeeb Iqbal. The project was lead in any situation, level 5, project 1. And in this, so I'll start the evaluation now. First of all, Toastmaster Shahzeeb Iqbal, congratulations on a spectacular speech. It's kind of a cliche. We say that about many speeches, but yes, it did look and sound like a contest speech. You started with audience interaction. You started with asking the audience a question, and then you turned that answer into an interesting story. You described a very unconventional leadership situation. We were expecting some Toastmasters experience, or maybe a situation in your business or your educational institution, but it turned out to be completely different. You had a smile, you had a pleasant and confident demeanor, and you had amazing expressions. All these three quantities were much enhanced versus your conventional speeches. So kudos on that. You appeared exceptionally well prepared, and every word had corresponding emotions. Your eye contact was today, again, exceptional. It seemed as if you're talking directly to us, and your gestures today that went along with the speech were very smooth as well. You had a beautiful story arc. I can't praise it enough. You started with the mention of your son, and then you started with your watch, and then you mentioned your son. And at first glance, it appeared disparate and disconnected, but then you brought it all together in a beautiful way. My dreams, my savings, and all shattered. And that's when the story converged. And finally, you made a beautiful transition to leading against screaming, which was a phrase that intrigued us in the earlier part of the speech.
but later it dawned on us that why did you say what you said? You added humor about your son, and you also added a lot of humor in between. You even had the presence of mind to point out that the project duration was 8 to 10 minutes and not 5 to 7, which a mistake I made as a timer. So kudos. I mean, that presence of mind is rarely seen. A few improvement areas. First of all, you had some blank spaces or some hesitation in the start, but it's not uh, perfectly possible for me to say for certain because there was a lot of disconnection and lag in the connection as well. You repeated sometimes quite a few times during your speech. You had a lack of transition that, when after 6 months your son turned into a beautiful baby boy, somehow the emotion there was a little bit missing. And you did invest yourself fully in emulating your son. When one is talking about their own children, perhaps a little bit more of a dramatic act would be more than welcome. Your speech continued in broadly the same tone, and that is my main improvement area and the challenge, that you should be more expressive and even more own the content through your emotions. So overall, perfectly delivered, beautiful story, beautiful lesson. Congratulations on level 5. Looking forward to your further speeches. Over to you, General Evaluator. Yeah. Okay. That was an absolutely amazing evaluation, DDM. How do you do this? I mean, people should be paying you for this, and you do it for free? Come on. Anyhow, moving on to the second evaluator of the day. And let me bring up the file because these phones have this nasty habit of instantly shutting down any file that you open. Anyhow, our second evaluator today is Toastmaster Salah Hamid, and she'll be evaluating Toastmaster Tehseen Fatma. No, she won't be evaluating Toastmaster Tehseen Fatma. She'll be evaluating her speech. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day and DTM Talha bin Hamid. Maya Angelou once said, people will forget what did you say. People will forget what you did. And people will remember, will never forget how you made them feel. TM Tehseen Fatma, your speech truly made all of us feel inspired. And you are not the mischievous Toastmaster, just like the baby's day out. Not at all. Your message was clear, your delivery was confident, and your storytelling engaging, along with your own personal story, with your beautiful smile on your face. That was really a hook for us. I especially appreciated the way you gave credit to all your mentors and Toastmasters. One suggestion, as always, there is always an area of improvement which is required, and that is the breakfast of the champion, we call it. So one suggestion would be to use proper stage at one time. While delivering your speech, you become so passionate and you become so enthusiastic that you do not see that where you were moving. It's a good tip to remember to use the proper space of the stage. You should move, but not too much. And slow down for emphasizes the words. So your tone should be, should not be monotone, but you should emphasize on some words, speaks in a clear way so that the people can, get clear message. It was clear, but you have to just tone up your speed. Use more vocal variety also. Overall, a heartfelt and impactful speech. Good luck to you for your further speeches. Thank you.
I just recalled that I was a journal evaluator. So thank you so much, Toastmasters Hamid. My only improvement area would be that you could have utilized at least 1 more minute to give even more feedback to the speaker. Beautiful evaluation. And I bet most of you can believe that she finished in just 2 minutes. So congrats. Our third speaker is DTM Irfan Farooqi. He gave an interview and he will be, his interview will be evaluated by Toastmaster Hiba Reis Khan. Over to you.
DTM Irfan Farooqi, gone.
Yeah, but
Okay, DTM Irfan Farooqi, a thoroughly professionally conducted interview. What I liked in your speech was that there was good clarity, and and also the fact that you had good arrangement made in your interview of the two seats, and there were good during the time you spoke. You had good hand and body gestures, which you expressed yourself with, and there was no sign of you had good comfort level, and there was no sign of hesitation or nervousness, and there was good poise as well, and you knew where to stop and where to emphasize your point. There was good level of impromptu speaking, and since you had prepared the interview thoroughly well, I could detect no signs of hesitation or any sort of mismanagement or any sign of any wrongly delivered phrase or anything. And however, you would have improved upon your vocal variety, and also you could have improved upon your eye contact, because by eye contact I mean you would have looked at the audience a bit more rather than looking at DTM Thala constantly. Overall, it was a thoroughly well delivered interview. Good luck for your upcoming projects. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Hiba. So it's a funny remark, but usually interviewees are not sitting in a room full of people. They have to face the interviewer. So in that case, I will give him a pass. Usually he's a master at eye contact, but in this particular situation, unfortunately, the interviewer was myself. So if you imagine yourself in such a situation, you would be looking at the
That kind of, but still, at least some level of eye contact with the audience would have been good.
All right. Okay. So our last speaker for today is Toastmaster Wasi Ahmed, and his speech was DTM Project 2. The speech will be evaluated by DTM Sarfraz Nazir.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, and especially you, Toastmaster Wasi Ahmed, or should I say ADTM, almost DTM. It is quite an accomplishment to deliver your second speech for the DTM project. This means you are getting closer to that highest Toastmasters International Award, the Distinguished Toastmaster Award. Even though we might take it sometimes lightly, but data shows that less than 1% of men and women who join Toastmasters International ever receive the DTM award, and you are close to it. First, I'm going to tell you what I liked about your presentation, your speech, and then I will give you my opinion on how you can improve. Your speech was in a storytelling format. The best thing about your speech was that in your speech you had no mother-in-law. You started your speech by telling us about reaching the auditorium at 7:30 a.m. Then you talked about the unplanned break, using some humor, talked about the taking control of the podium. And I like some of the phrases or words that you used. For example, our life is a story. And that's true. We can relate to it. You also said desperate times require desperate measures. And that's also something that we can relate to. The second thing I liked about your speech was your hand gestures. You're using your hands. And at one point you said right. And I looked and you were actually using your right hand. Sometimes people say right and they use the left hand. So that was great. The third thing was your vocal variety. When you said that it is time for the main event, the closing ceremony, you raised your voice, and that's great. Now, how can you improve your speech? When you open your speech, it reminded me a blind person following a blind person or a group of blind people. In District 122, people have a unique way of opening their speech. The first few seconds of a speech or the first few words of a speech are the most important. This is where you tell the audience why they should listen to you or should they listen to you. But in District 122, just like you did that, they come up, am I audible? Am I visible? No, no, no. Just start your speech. Say, Mr. Toastmaster, Madam Toastmaster, and I can guarantee you that if you are not audible, 10 people will tell you that you are not audible. And the second thing is you ended your speech by saying, thank you. Again, no, no, no. The audience should thank you as a speaker for having given your presentation. You do not thank us. I liked your speech because of the storytelling, hand gestures, and if you can improve the opening and closing of your speech, it'll be a great speech. I look forward to your next speech. Back to you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you so much, sir. Right. Am I audible? Okay, so DTM Sapras said that people take becoming a DTM for granted, but he completely fails to realize that the reason for that is people like him who keep getting new DTMs. So overall, what can I say about the evaluation? I think Toastmaster Vase, you're awfully glad. You must be awfully glad that you got to witness this evaluation in person rather than from the comfort of thousands of miles of distance between you and him. And
I texted DTO, Toastmasters studies, especially that make DTO.
okay, I don't know how I feel about that, but okay. Yeah, so absolutely, it was totally worth it. So now our evaluations are complete and it's time for our perennial table topics evaluator, Toastmasters. Using my authority as the president of the club, I am announcing today that for the next 10 meetings at least, you're not getting the table topics evaluator. Over to you, Toastmasters.
All the evaluators were qualified.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, journal evaluator. I mean, you are talking with me right now as a journal evaluator in the capacity of journal evaluator. Thank you very much. The word perennial is something very good, refreshing, and I will use it in the subsequent meeting. Thank you for the word. Our last speaker was Toastmaster Rafat. Toastmaster Rafat talked about the topic given by Table Topic Masters, rather a sun to shine or a tree to give shade. She liked both of them, and because according to her, one of them provide shade and shelter, and she likes to be under the tree, and she wants the shelter and shade, but at the same time, she believes that the heat is important for the mango to grow, and she seems to be fond of mangoes. So in a way, she liked both part of the statement, and she proved it with an example. before bringing an end to her speech, she, however, mentioned some nasty part of heat or the summer weather, especially when she is in the court with her coat, wearing her coat inside the court. I thought the courts have ACs, air conditioning. I mean, it is something surprising to know that they don't have ACs. But thank you very much for your experience. It's overall a very good speech. What I can say is Toastmaster Rafat, your pronunciation is far better than me. But I found myself quite relatable when it comes to the when it comes to the agreement of the tenses in your conversation or the appropriate use of articles or the preposition. These are something that we need to look at. Um, the second last speaker was Shakir, our guest. Shakir, thank you very much to join our club. Shakir talked about summer heat and how to calm down a person. If summer is a person, then how someone needs to calm it down. And you talked about the calming down of the summer heat because you asked him to be comfort or to take the comfortable position. You tried to convince him and convince it and argue it in a very polite way so that your argument become a convincing. It's a very good way of initiating your speech and explaining it. Being a guest, of course, you need more time. You could have taken more time. You spoke merely around a minute, and I invite you to come again. You were speaking in a very confident way. You can improve it when you come over here regularly and speak with us. Once again, thank you for joining us, Shakir. Uh, the next table topic speaker was TM Altaf. TM Altaf talked about flip-flop and the heat wave. What I liked in TM Altaf is the salutation. I always like your salutation. You do it in a very systematic way. And you talked about the flip-flop and you said that how they provide the relief in the summer. And then you mentioned their maximum benefit to achieve the objective of the flip-flop. Once again, you did not take your time to speak at length. You could have dragged this flip-flop into sandals, slipper, and even dragged it into a mother-in-law and any mother-in-law to make your speech more attractive and lengthy. Once again, I urge you to dig deeper and take your duration of speaking. Um, Lastly, before leaving you over here, the one thing I like is the use of your legal lexicon. You used today one words which I immediately caught. That is thereof, and you used it very appropriately in your sentence. So thank you. Please come regularly. Use these words. We are learning from you. Never forget it. Um, Hamid Dodi. Hamid Dodi talked about the shed and he immediately brought a story like a very good speaker and he talked about his teacher and about the guy, the teacher, a very uncooperative teacher and took the help one of his friend regarding an application and then the way he joined his teacher again in a week that the teacher would like it, but unfortunately, the last dramatic words the teacher said, "Shut up," and you made it your last words as a speaker. That was one of the best way to conclude your speech in a very dramatic way. I really like your confidence because of your background education. You were speaking very well. The only thing I had a problem coming from an Urdu medium school, I had a problem to your pace of speaking, perhaps. I failed to comprehend every words that you are saying. Um, but again, I liked the way you spoke your material rather confidently. Gulam Dastagir, melting the sun, the shadow, the sun or the shadow and the mother-in-law. I mean, if you were given two choice, being the shadow of your mother-in-law or the melting sun, you implied, I mean, you did not say it clearly, despite the fact that your mother-in-law is no more, you seems to be afraid of her because you implied that you would rather prefer in the melting sun rather than being in the shadow of your mother-in-law. But the way I liked your speech, the way you thanked all of us, you repeat the topic and you talked about as a region from the peasant family. We are all agrarian society are from the peasant family. Although I am from fisherman community, and then you in a way mocked you did something which I have been afraid to tell the people who are in the city. They think that this is here, they heat they face the heat. I have been somewhere called Turbat. I served there for 3 months. I was there when 52 centigrade. I survived in 52 centigrade. But when I tell my colleagues in Karachi, they are not going to believe it. So thank you very much, being one of my supporter. Um, and you also um, mentioned what was the other thing? Okay, without going to the nitty gritty of your speech, the one thing I like is you are confident. I think you are coming from another club, and we need a confident speaker like you among us. Do come here. We are a learner. We want to learn people like you. The one thing which you ask me, the one thing I liked in you, that is your confidence to speak in front of people, even the people that you don't know. Um, the first speaker, I think this is the end. No, Imran Rana. Imran Rana survived heat wave or a heated argument with his wife. Again, um, you asked the word of the day, but you did not use it, unfortunately. But you clearly mentioned your argument with his wife over the Toastmaster Club. I have the same problem, and that will be the topic of my next speech. Um, you talked about the heat waves, your bathroom, your wet clothes, and the maximum things that you want to choose. Um, Imran Rana, uh, there is no two opinion about your confidence when you are sitting among us or speaking among us. I constantly mentioned two area of improvement. That when you are speaking, you started to laugh, or when it may not be necessary. Secondly, you are not supposed to ask the word of the day when you are in the middle of your speech. This is from my side. Over to you, Journal Evaluator, oblique, our president.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mohammad Asghar, for that comprehensive evaluation of table topic speakers. And it is my misfortune that I have to call you again because you're also the grammarian. So once again, the stage is yours.
Uh, Thank you once again, but let me find out. I thought I may be the okay. Starting from the word of the day, I heard Omer speak mentioning it. Amit Dodi asked for it, but he didn't use it, unfortunately. Imran Rana asked the word of the day, but again, he didn't use it. Tehseen used it in his speech. DTM Sarfraz used it while introducing his speaker during as an evaluator. This is the word of the day, and Regarding the grammarian, it's always a tough job for me being a grammarian. Grammarian has to be selected from someone who knows the grammar. But let me just, I think a Karachi situation is very hot. Maybe the situation in Karachi is very hot. And another sentence is perhaps regarding. I actually lost my place. Oh yes. Let me go some good usages of the words. Refine and most famous mentor. How not to do, what not to become. Keep rocking, keep growing. These are some of the things that I've noted from the today's speaker. There is always a first time in your life. The best thing an organization need is people. Need the best thing that an organization need people, and some of them from outside. Um, is stuck up between two extremes. And these are some of the words that I have noted. I think this is the end from my side. Again, over to you. And DTM Tala, let me know if someone said when I returned to home or went back to home, we usually do not use to before the home. Please correct me if I need your
Yes.
correction, and over to you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much once again for your answer. And the luxury that comes with being online is complete obliviousness to the clock, which means that we are already over our allotted time. But thank you so much once again, because every minute was worth it of that feedback. Quickly now, I'll call over our counter for the our counter's report.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests at the R counter. My report is divided into two sections. The first will be the prepared speech one. PM Shahzad Iqbal had none. PM Tehseen Fatma had none. DTM Irfan Khalvi had none. PM Mase Ahmed had none. So that means the speakers were very prepared. And as for the table topic speech, PM Imran Rana had none. Guest guest did what I could get because I was juggling the evaluation as well.
Yeah,
And
that must be it.
Yes, yes. Oh, that will. Oh. Guest Ghulam Dastagir, 1 hour. Guest Hamid Dodi, none. TM Altaf said none. Guest Shakib, 3 hours. TM Rafiat Mobeen, 1 hour. That's about.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much. And
Excuse me,
please,
sir.
sorry.
Can I interrupt you? Can I test the memories as a listener?
Okay.
Just in a 1 minute, yes. Okay, so being a listener, our listener was not here, so I just noted down a few lines. So someone said, I was the only siblings. Who was the person?
Sorry, someone said?
Someone said, I was the only siblings. I was the only sibling.
Sorry, you need to repeat. I was the only
Sibling. Okay, it was
voice.
Tasmasit Tehseen Fatma. Okay, someone said, human brain is good for planning and stood up physical work. Am I audible to everyone? Uh, am I audible to everyone? Hello. Hello. Am I audible?
ATC is mute. ATC is mute.
Two people are mute.
This because we need to wind up quickly. Our time for the meeting is already over. Even no special keynotes. The quality of the speeches and the quality of the table topics manages to surpass our expectations every time. So thank you all the members. I think it's kind of a conflict of interest when the president is also the general evaluator, but I cannot praise it enough. Our time management needs improvement today. Everybody arrived on time. We started the meeting on time, and yet, we are exceeding our time. So perhaps my message to VP Education would be to look at the agenda again and reassess where we delayed. And perhaps we look at the recording and make that assessment ourselves. With that, I quickly hand over the charge now to our Toastmaster of the day, wind up his role.
Thank you so much, Talab bin Hamid, for the great general evaluation. Now I'd like to quickly call for the votes. If all of if everyone has voted, and I would like to call TM Imran Rana to announce the results.
Thank you so much. Best pick 4 votes. Poll has been floated to the group, so you all are requested to speech. Yes. Best table topic speaker goes to me. And for best pick 4, please wait.
Okay, so this brings the meeting to a close with a note of gratitude. We are heading off to dinner from here. Everyone, please join us. Unfortunately for online participants, but Toastmaster Man, if you are in Karachi, feel free to join us. We'll share the venue. And again, a vital bit of business. The first bit of business is that, of course, ParkTech has been deferred. The Karachi chapter has been deferred. So new dates will be announced soon. Your money is safe. Fingers crossed. No, it is certainly safe. If the event happens, of course, your ticket will be utilized. If it doesn't, the money will be refunded. Let's all hope, once again, let me reiterate, let's all hope that things get back to normal and we're able to have this event and other events. It's for the sake of the people of both countries and frankly for whole humanity. The last and final business is that once again, I declare on behalf of the club club and using my executive authority, I declare my unconditional support and cast my vote in favor of Toastmaster Imran Rana as the incoming club nomination committee chair. So if you're interested in any of the executive committee positions, please send your message and expression of interest to Toastmaster Imran Rana. Tentatively, the election meeting will be on the 28th, because on the 21st, we'll have our evaluation speech contest. So with that, thank you so much. Sincerely, Master Umair, fantastic job. And do we have the results? Before we can count the group later.
So we have.
Okay, what is the announcement that please share?
Yes. And the best pick 4 goes to.
Okay, we'll announce it later on the group. So thank you and goodbye, and let's head off to the